You can sell more by giving people ownership, and people behave very differently once they have ownership of something. So the concept we will be discussing is endowment effect, and we will learn how we can use that endowment effect to sell more stuff to the users. So jumping right into this, so endowment effect was there was an experiment which was done in university, where two set of people were given a mug. One set of people were given a mug, second was not given a mug, and once the group which had the ownership of the mug valued it differently, like they valued it like $7 for a $3 mug, and which the group which didn't have the mug wanted to buy it for a low price. So it's the basic concept is that the whole relationship changes, or whole the perception changes once you are sitting on the other side of the table. So if you are a buyer, then you have a different set of this thing, and if you are a seller, you have a different set of this thing, like value perception. And value perception comes from the ownership. So if you have anything, you tend to value it more. So basically, the endowment effects draw parallel with the golem also, like of Lord of the Rings. So there is a this like it's in that, like once he has the ring, so it was more precious to him. Otherwise, there are like 1,000 things going around in the universe. But once you have something, then it becomes a inner part of your circle, and then you tend to value it more. And then your psychological mind, your irrational mind kicks in. Your like our nature, inherent nature kicks in, and then we start to value it differently. And the main reason, like there are multiple reasons, but one of the two reasons is, one is loss aversion. So we don't want to undersell anything. So if I like have this mug for $3, and if someone gives me like $5 for it, so I can, but the idea is that why I should sell this for $5. So that's not worth it. Second, if I undervalue it, like he knows something which I don't know, or anything like that, so it's a like a loss aversion. So I don't want to sell it for cheap, because I'm not in desperate need. So maybe I will value it more even, and there might be some emotional connection with the product. Secondly, people don't want to change the status quo. So status quo is like, if I'm not looking to sell, or if I'm not looking, so I don't want to change, because once we need to change the status quo, then it goes into decision making. We have to make a decision, we have to like put a brain and like think about something, then finalize. So that's why we tend to avoid any change in status quo. So we tend to delay the decision making or those kind of things, but we want everything to happen the same as it is, like in that sense. So real life examples, like just jumping into before the shopping requirement for this, like how we can implement for e-commerce businesses. But broad examples would include like your stock market, where someone, if people hold the stock, they value it more. Real estate is a very common example, that any real estate seller tend to value his property differently, and especially if they are living into it. So if someone is living in the home, they will value their home price differently than compared to a buyer. Buyer will not have any emotional attachment to the home, so they will judge it on the market price. The seller might have a personal attachment, so they might value it differently. Second is like founders tend to value their company differently. So founder or entrepreneur tend to value their company differently than investor. So investor is looking from a broad perspective. Founder tend to get emotionally attached, or they will ask for the effort, like sweat and tear, and like those kind of things. But it's like from a founder investor perspective, it's like he's looking for multiple businesses, so they don't tend to value it rationally. Founder tend to value it irrationally. Now that's the theory, and coming into this, how we can use this for our like to sell more stuff to the user. So we have, like there are multiple implementation if you look at other e-commerce brands, and there are some around. One we have used a lot is adding coupon to your account. So there will be a promotion which will say that we have added some $100 to your account, or like a $50 to your account, and you can spend it whichever way you want, or you can save it or something like that. And then after 2 days or something, that we are taking away that $100. So then, because there is some kind of a ownership attached, that I am losing money, then so it tend to perform better. Similarly, it can be done for the points. So you can do play with the points similarly. So you can add points to the account, then you can take away the points. So people tend to have a different response. It will not be, not everyone will convert, but what I'm saying, the overall percentage improves, even if you say that without this kind of a psychological game. So these two we have tested multiple times and we have got successful results. For free trials, next is free trials. So free trials is one is where you don't touch the product, sort of like there is a software involved or there is something. So that can be also done because you can figure it out and all those things, but it also comes down to ownership of the product. In physical world, if we can have some kind of a trial where like the Casper is doing like a product trial, that you can keep a product for 100 days, and if you're not satisfied then you can send it back, then it's a physical thing, has a more personal attachment with the stuff. So if you can give someone like a lenient return policy or something like that, so that will come into the picture. But for a free trials, it's more about try-ons or like a virtual tool. But for product subscription, like I just wanted to discuss this product subscription technique. So in this, what you do is because some of the stores have subscription business also, and they like cosmetic brands, so they might be running a subscription where there is a every 3 months there is a, you can get a box or something like that, or you can get the same product delivered every month to your home. In that case, what we have seen worked well is you give the first month subscription for free with the current purchase. So if someone is supposedly buying a cosmetic for this month, and then on top of it you say that if you move this to subscription, I will make the shipping free or something like that. You don't change their cart price, but you just attach on a subscription on top of it, and treat that order as subscription order. And once it closes, then you ask them to renew it or something like that. So then it's more a better hook than compared to like a simple pop-up that buy my subscription. Also, they will have a experience of subscription, so there is an effort to cancel the subscription. So that's the idea behind this, and this has worked really well. Virtual try-ons, so home try-ons, if you send something at home, or there is a virtual try-on also where for sunglasses or this kind of like I've used for buying this specs. So there is a try-on services which can make you more relatable to the product. So that's also this thing. Mainly it's more about the physical ownership. Virtual ownership is little bit tricky, but it works on some, like in gaming and all those things, it definitely works. But for e-commerce businesses, virtual, if you like a real ownership or real touch and feel attachment is more powerful for to sell more. And similarly, like so all the 3 points are related to this, like a money back guarantee or warranties is like a lifetime warranty can be there can be like a free return policy that there is no limit, like 30 days or 90 days. So in that, people tend to buy more, and then they always think that I can always return, but they tend to not return it. And then it's more about the how the endowment effect comes into a picture, that once they have something, they tend to value it more. So that's the idea behind it. In offline world, it's sometimes it's about the user, like touch and feel. So if you are running a store or something, so you can always have a touch and feel angle, but the more touch and feel the customer can feel the ownership of the product, then it's a better implementation. So that's the idea behind the endowment effect. So in this, basically how we will, like, we tend to value more what we own. So that's the first concept. And how we can use is like we reverse engineer that we try to give them a taste of the ownership. So we try to give them a taste of ownership, and then we try to take it back. And while we are taking it back, then we can ask for the money or something like that. So that's the whole concept. And to give the ownership, and they have to pay to get it back, like to keep the ownership, sort of. So that's the core strategy. And apart from that, this is a very good technique for a offline or not a, like in the personal life as well, where be it real estate, be it stock market or anything. So you can look into your behavior, you can analyze that why I'm valuing this more than someone else, and it's typically tend to be the reason, the explanation tend to be ownership. So Okay. So I hope this was helpful, and if you find value, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.